بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما. So tonight we continue with both talks and Majlis for Muharram, and there will be a similar format as before, and we will talk a little bit about Ali Akbar Salamullahi alayhi and Hur bin Yazid al-Riyahi and their martyrdom in Karbala. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك وعلى آل بيتك الطيبين الطاهرين. صلى الله عليك وعلى ابن عمك شهيد المحراب علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام، وعلى بضعتك الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء المظلومة المغصوبة، وعلى ولدك السبط الحسن المجتبى يا مقطع الأحشاء ورابع أصحاب الكتاب، وعلى ولدك الحسين شهيد كربلاء ومسلوب الإمامة ومسلوب العمامة والرداء. طيبتم سادتي وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم، وفزتم هنيئا لكم. يا ليتنا يا ليت نفوز بأهل ثاركم فيكون فوزا عظيما. This is short ziyarah. This is something read by Sayyid Ahmed Hassan Salamullahi alayhi in the khutbah of Al-Muharram. The translation is also given in the group. Inshallah, we will share the translation too. Then we'll hand over for the reading of Hadith al-Kitab. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أهل بيت الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. سلام العارف بحرمتك، المخلص في ولايتك، المتقرب إلى الله بمحبتك، البريء من أعدائك. سلام من قلبه بمصابك مقروح ودمعه عند ذكرك مسفوح. سلام المفجوع الحزين الواله المستكين. سلام من لو كان معك بالصفوف لوقاك بنفسه حد السيوف، وبذل هشاشته دونك للحتوف، وجاهد بين يديك ونصرك على من بغى عليك، وفداك بروحه وجسده وماله وولده وروحه لروحك فداء. فإن أخرتني الدهور وعاقني عن نصرك المقدور، ولم أكن لمن حاربك محاربا، ولمن نصب لك العداوة مناصبا، فلأندبنك صباحا ومساء، ولأبكين لك بذل الدموع دما، حسرة عليك وتأسفا على ما دهاك، حتى أموت بلوعة المصاب وغصة الاكتئاب، وإنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون، والحمد لله رب العالمين. The rough translation of this is peace be upon Al-Hussein and on Ali ibn al-Hussein and on the family, on the household of Al-Hussein and on the companions of Al-Hussein, the ones who sacrificed everything for Hussein. Peace be upon you, O Abu Abdullah. Peace from someone who recognizes your sanctity and who is pure, sincere in his allegiance to you, and who, with his love for you, gets close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who is free, disassociates from all of your enemies. Peace from someone whose heart, when he hears about your tribulation, it's injured, and his tears, his tears, when they hear about you, they flow. Peace from someone who is shocked and who is sad, the one who is weakened. Peace from the one who, if he was with you in Karbala, he would have protected you with himself. He would have given himself to protect you from the sharpness of the swords. And he would have sacrificed himself for you. And he would have strived in front of you and helped you against those who transgressed against you. And he would have ransomed his soul for he would have ransomed his soul for your soul, and his body and his wealth and his progeny for you, and his spirit for your spirit. And if time keeps me and stops me from, and fate stops me from helping you, and I was not somebody who was able to fight those who fought you, and I was not able to resist those who were your enemies, then I will weep for you morning and night, and I will cry for you. Instead of tears, I will cry blood, in sadness over you and regret over you, until I die with the flame of your trials and the anger of depression. And to God we are, and to God we return. Praise be to God, Lord of the world.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad al-aima wal mahdeen wa sallam tasliman kasiran kasira. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad al-aima wal mahdeen wa sallam tasliman kasiran kasira. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad al-aima wal mahdeen wa sallam tasliman kasiran kasira. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad al-aima wal mahdeen wa sallam tasliman kasira. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. An Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salam bint Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi khala samitu Fatimata annaha khalat dakhala alayya bi Rasulullah fi ba'd al-ayyam فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له إذاك بالله منا وإذك بالله يباته من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتني بالكساء اليماني وغطيني به فأتيت بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به صرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلاء كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد العين والمهدي وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وسمراتا فؤادي فقال يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كان راحية جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جده يا رسول الله أتأذنني أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد العائم والمهدي وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وسمراتا فؤادي فقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كان راحية جدي رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك واقعك تحت الكساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه والسلام عليك يا من اختاره الله أتأذنوا لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافي أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل معهما تحت الكساء اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد वसल्लम तस्लीमन कसीरन कसीरा।
كثيرا.
फ़अक़बल इंद ज़ालिका अबुल हसन अली इब्न अबू तालिब वक़ाल अस्सलामु अलैका या बिन्त रसूलिल्लाह फ़क़ुल्तु अलैका अस्सलाम या अबुल हसन व या अमीरुल मोमिनीन फ़क़ाल या फ़ातिमतु इन्नी अशम्मु इंदकी राइहतन तय्यबतन कना राहियतु अख़ी व इब्नी अम्मी रसूलिल्लाह फ़क़ुल्तु नाम हा हुवा मा वलदैका तहतल किसा फ़अक़बल अलियुन नहवल किसा वक़ाल अस्सलामु अलैका या रसूलल्लाह अताज़नु लि अन अकूना माकुमा तहतल किसा क़ाल वअलैका सलाम या अख़ी व वसी व खलीफ़ती व साहिब लिवाई क़द अज़िनतु लका फ़दख़ल अलियुन तहतल किसा अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद अलाइहिल महदी वसल्लम तस्लीमन
سلم
कसीरा।
تسليما كثيرا.
सुम्मा अतैतु नहवल किसा वक़ुल्तु अस्सलामु अलैका या बातहु या रसूलल्लाह ताज़नूनी अन अकूना माकुमा तहतल किसा क़ाल वअलैका सलाम या बिन्ती व या बज़्ज़ती क़द अज़िनतु लक फ़दख़लतु तहतल किसा अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले
محمد
मुहम्मद
محمد
अलाइहिल महदी
محمد
वसल्लम
المهدي
तस्लीमन
وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيد اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وهامتي لهمهم لهمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهركم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد
اللهم صل
وعلى
على
محمد
محمد
العلم
وانت
والمهدي
ونبينا وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا.
فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرض مدية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مزية ولا فلك يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء اللهم صل على محمد وآل
محمد محمد
محمد العلم والمهدي
محمد المهدي وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا.
فقال أمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبالوها وبنوها اللهم صل على محمد وآل
على
محمد.
محمد الأئمة المهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا.
فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتيت والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرض مدية ولا قمر منيرا ولا شمس مزية ولا فلك يدر ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذنون لي يا رسول الله فقال رسول الله عليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال علي فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
محمد
محمد لا يمحو المهدي.
المهدي وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا.
فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبي واصطفاني بالرسالة نجي ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جميع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وهفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن تفرقوا فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وفازت شيعتنا ورب الكعبة فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبي واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محافل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جميع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيه مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وخاز الله حاجته وقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وسويدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسويدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة اللهم صل على محمد
وسلم محمد وعلى
وعلى آله
محمد
وصحبه وسلم تسليما
وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد المتي والمهديين وسلم تسليما. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم مكن لقاء آل محمد وبقية الله في الأرض سيد أحمد الحسن وصاحب الزمان محمد بن الحسن المهدي أولادهما المنتجبين المصطفين الأخيار المهديين، واقض حوائجهم واحفظهم من كل سوء وداء مكروه، ومد في أعمارهم وبارك في آجالهم، وجعلنا معهم في الدنيا والآخرة وذريتنا مع ذريتهم. Today we have inshallah a very short talk. As usual, brothers have requested a little bit of insights into some of the events in Karbala. So we are taking from the book Yawm al-Hussein, and what we're going to discuss today comes from uh, book 2, the volume 2, which is the events in Karbala itself. So this revolves around two key individuals. One is Ali Akbar al-Islam, who was the eldest son of Al-Imam al-Hussein, who was martyred, and he is known as Dabih al-Islam in the allegories by Sayyid Ahmad al-Hassan. And Amin al-Bayt know truly why he was called the Dabih al-Islam, the one sacrifice for Islam. But it could be that because he took the place of Ali ibn al-Hussein, Imam Sajjad, when it came to when Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad alayhi in Kufa, when he thought that he had killed Ali ibn al-Hussein, and he said to Imam Sajjad, I thought I'd killed you. And Imam gave the opportunity to Sayyidina Ali ibn al-Hussein, Ali Akbar, so that the life of Imam Sajjad salamun alayhi would be saved. It's possible. Allah knows best. But what is key about Ali Akbar? Will come to this. The other person we'll talk about is Hur bin Yazid al-Riyahi. A little bit about Hur. Why? Because Sayyid Ahmad al-Hassan, he has commented on Hur bin Yazid. And some people sometimes think that Hur was, let's say, one of the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, but that's not the case, actually. Before we come to these two blessed personalities, we need to understand that Ali Akbar is one of those individuals who was known to look like Rasulullah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Historians mention quite a few people who used to resemble Prophet Muhammad, and one of them was Ali Akbar. Some of the other ones which come in the narrations are, for example, some say Adam al-Islam looked like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We know for sure Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam looked like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as said by the Prophet himself. We also know that Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib looked like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam was one of those people who was at the Imam Ali used to protect him from being at the forefront of the battle. However, in the battle of the camel, Harb or Ghazwat al-Jamal, Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba is the one who was brave enough to take the spear and go and stab the camel in which Aisha, the wife of Rasulullah, was sitting. And once he stabbed that camel fell down, then the battle stopped. So Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba, his reward is high, it's huge. His reward is higher than that of Imam Hussein al-Islam, Imam al-Hasan, Imam Ali, Rasulullah, the Fatima. All of these, as I understand, the reward is higher than Imam Mahdi. Then Imam Mahdi's reward is there, and then after Imam Mahdi, the other Imams. So their reward is so high. So Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba also looked like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imam al-Hussein al-Islam also looked like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Also, Ali Akbar looked like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as we mentioned. Ja'far al-Tayyar. So this is Ja'far bin Abi Talib. So the brother of Imam Ali al-Islam. So Ali ibn Abi Talib, Ja'far bin Abi Talib. Ja'far al-Tayyar, salamun alayhi. Rasulullah loved him, and he was martyred in the battle of, as I know, Mu'tah, and both of his arms were chopped off, and Allah gave him wings in paradise. Also, Abdullah bin Ja'far al-Tayyar, son of Sayyidina Ja'far al-Tayyar, his son, Abdullah, also looked like Rasulullah in some narrations. And there are other people from the progeny of Al-Muttalib or Abdul Muttalib of Banu Hashim. Also, if you go to Egypt ever, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the opportunity to travel to Egypt, you will find that from the progeny of Imam Hassan and Mujtaba, you have Yahya al-Shabi. So he is Yahya Mali, sorry, correct his nasab is actually from Imam al-Hussein. How from Imam al-Hussein? Is Yahya al-Shabi bin al-Qasim bin Muhammad al-Dibaj, and al-Dibaj was known as al-Ma'mun. And he is the son of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, and he is the son of Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, of course, Imam Sajjad, Imam al-Hussein, all the way to Imam Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salam. So Yahya al-Shabi was known as Shabi, which means look like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Also, you have others in the progeny of Al-Bayt. For example, we have individual known as Shabi al-Zaydi al-Husayni. Al-Zaydi al-Husayni. So he is from the progeny of Sayyidina Zayd al-Shaheed. Zayd al-Shaheed, who was the brother of Imam Baqir al-Islam, who went up against the Abbasids and he was martyred. So he is the son of Imam Sajjad. He also looked like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And also it's narrated in some narrations that Imam Mahdi al-Islam himself will also look like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this is why when it comes to the martyrdom of Sayyidina Ali Akbar, why it's particularly painful. Enemies of Prophet Muhammad, enemies of Ahlul Bayt, often used to like to torture and to give a hard time to those of the Ahlul Bayt who look like Prophet Muhammad. But can you just imagine? Also, Imam Baqir al-Islam in the narration, it's narrated Imam Baqir al-Islam also looked like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So often Ahlul Bayt would look at these pure individuals to be reminded of what the Prophet Muhammad used to look like. Imagine how blessed, what a blessing, what a wonderful, wonderful household experience would have been. Sometimes they would call the ones who were beautiful in the Ahlul Bayt Dibaj. Dibaj sometimes is used to refer to silk. Harir sometimes refers to silk. Dibaj also is a kind of fine cloth or silk. So they would use these terms to refer to them. This is why it's particularly painful when we read that Ali Akbar was martyred in Karbala. It's narrated he was only 27, around about 27 years old. And Sayyid Ahmad Hassan has said, actually, Ali Akbar was married and he had children. He was married and he had children. So there's a point that's worth mentioning here. What's the point? The point is that in the ziyarat, the ziyarah of Ali Akbar, he normally is seen as mutaqaddim. His name comes early on, or he's seen as the one who is mutaqaddim, means advanced in the ziyarat over the other people who were martyred. It doesn't necessarily mean that he was killed on the first day, on the third day, or the fourth day, or the fifth day. In fact, Sayyid Ahmad Hassan has actually negated this misunderstanding that yes, there were instances where there was what they call ibraz or mubaraza, where the champions would come forward and they would challenge the champions on the other side. But it wasn't the case that it happened on the third or the fourth or the fifth or the sixth in sequence, as is often thought. But in fact, Ali Akbar was at the forefront of the battle on the front line to protect Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So let's read a little bit about what Sayyid Ahmad Hassan salam alayhi says regarding Ali Akbar. So he says that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, limati wal mahdina wa sallim taslima. He says here, regarding the matter of the battle as a fifth battle, it doesn't mean that there were individuals, or doesn't mean there were not individual skirmishes between both sides. But it's not how people often think. ولكن ليس بالصورة التي تصور في وتصور في بعض المقاتل. It's not as people often think in some of the maqatil. Maqatil means the narrated history books of the battle, where they often give you on the first day this happened, second day this happened, third day this happened. He said it's not like this. He says وكأنه الجيشان جالسان أمام حلبة مصارعة يدخلها أنصار الحسين عليه السلام أفراد، وهذا غير صحيح. He said it's not like the two armies were kind of facing opposite each other, and then they were entering like a ring, and one by one, one by one. This is not right. This is actually that it didn't happen like that. It's possible there was some offsetting, but it didn't happen exactly how people think. But what did it say about Ali Akbar in particular? It says Ali Akbar متزوج قطعا وكذا له ذرية. So Ali Akbar was married and he had ذرية, he had progeny. And also he says that له منزلة كبيرة في قلب أبيه الحسين. So Dr. Allah then carries on and says that Ali Akbar had a huge manzila, means like a high status in the heart of his father, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the reason why after the battle in Karbala, these are some of the qualities that endear Ali Akbar to his father, salamullahi alayhi, the qualities that he had. That it says here that Ali Akbar was one of the Ansar on Ashura, and he knew for sure of this, the high status of the Ahl al-Bayt. For that reason, it's normal that we find the Mu'arrikhin, the historians, what they do, they portray him as if he is mutaqaddim, he is at the forefront of the battle in the text, but they do not explain the full reality. For Ali Akbar wasn't Dr. Allah calls them the Talibiyin. Talibiyin means the ones who actually went with Imam Hussein, who accompanied him. He wasn't the forefront of the Talibiyin after all of the Ansar were martyred, as we sometimes hear. But it's correct to say Akbar. He's called Akbar, meaning big or the bigger one, because كان في مقدمة جيش الحسين عند بدء القتال والالتحام. So Ali Akbar was at the forefront of the army, at the front end. He wasn't at the back hiding. He was at the forefront, facing off against the enemies of Imam Hussein al Islam, Yawm al Ashura, on the 10th day of Muharram. This is the correct situation. Why? Because he was difa'an anil haq. He was there to defend truth, which his father was representing, salawatullahi alayhi. ومن أولى منهم الدفاع عن أبيه الذي هو بقية أصحاب الكساء. And more importantly, he is defending against the last of Ashabul Kisa. So he knows his father is the final one of Ashabul Kisa. So he is defending his father for this reason. This is why he's at the forefront of the battle. And then what else did it say? Ali Akbar Shab Qawi, he was a youth, he was strong, he was brave. Miqdam means he was pushing forward. He is فهو سليل جدي Mustafa, he is the progeny, he is the descendant of his grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and his grandfather Al-Murtada salawatullahi alayhima. For that reason, he was worthy of being at the forefront, worthy of a high status. Then Dr. Allah explains that for this reason, when we read the ziyarah, when we go to Karbala, if you have been, and may Allah take us all again and again, we read in the ziyarah, which Imam Sadiq, Imam Jafar alayhi salam used to teach to Hamza, Abu Hamza al-Thumali. He says, then go to Ali ibn al-Hussein, for he is at the feet of Imam Hussein. So who is Ali ibn al-Hussein here? Of course, it's Ali Akbar. So when you stand there, then say, Assalamu alaykum ya ibn Rasulillah wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you, son of Allah's messenger, and Allah's mercy and blessings be upon you. May my mother and father be sacrificed for you. For the one who is muqaddim bayna yaday abik yahtasibuka, the one who was at the forefront in front of your father, who holds you highly. وَيَبْكِي عَلَيْكُمْ مُحْتَرِفًا عَلَيْكَ قَلْبُهُ. So, and who cries for you, whose heart cries for you. يرفع دمك إلى عنان السماء, who raises your blood to the high levels of the sky. لا يرجع منه قطرة ولا تسكن عليك من أبيك زفرة. So not a drop returns from there, or nor should there be any tranquility for what happened to your father when he when he when you forbade when he forbade you, or when he bid you farewell. So your status with Allah, with your forefathers that have gone before, and with your mothers are in the heavens. Fil Janan Muna'amin, in the glorious heavens of Na'im. So this is the kind of dua ziyarah to do. أبرأ إلى الله ممن قتلك وذبحك. So I disassociate myself from the one who killed you and he sacrificed you. This is what we read for Ali Akbar. Then Dr. Allah goes on to explain, مقدم بين يدي أبيك. This means, it's clear that this means there is a general being at the forefront as compared to all of the Ansar that were with Imam Hussein. And then Al-Akbar, Ali Akbar means therefore the first of the Mutaqaddimin. So Taqaddum, which is at the forefront, is for all of the Ansar of Imam Hussein, and Al-Akbar is the first of those who are at the forefront. Hopefully, inshallah, this is clear. He's at the front of all of the Ansar of Imam Hussein with his fighting, with his Shahada, amongst all of those who were with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Inshallah, hopefully this is clear. What about now Hur bin Yazid al-Riyahi? What does Sayyid Ahmad al-Hassan say, Salamun alayhi, about Hur? Sayyid Ahmad al-Hassan, Salamun alayhi, discusses Hur and the situation Hur was in. So he explains that Hur himself, the guidance of Hur, that actually a lot of people of Al-Kufa, let's read the words of Sayyid Ahmad a little bit in the Arabic. باختصار قبل أن يهتدي الحر بن يزيد الرياحي إلى الحسين كان قائدا في الجيش الأموي. So what he's saying is, before Al-Hur was guided to Imam Hussein, he was a leader in the army of the Amawi. He calls it the Amawi, meaning the army of the Umayyads. Okay, and his situation was like any army or any general, any military leader, which is today. What he's trying to do is fulfill the commands of his government. So all of his goal in his life is to survive, is to live, and to protect his job. This is very important for all of us now. This is very important, extremely important now. Of course, Ali Akbar and his sacrifice for his father is extremely important. At the same time, the story of Hur. This is all of us today. Hur was worried about his job, and therefore he fulfilling the commands of the government and his going out to meet Imam Hussein, then joining with the army that he went out to fight in Karbala. All of this wasn't out of love and belief in Yazid. This is the situation until he met with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So when he saw Imam Hussein, see, these are the things we have to remember. When people would see the Hujjah, there, he says here, انقلبت موازين الحر وتأثر بالإمام. He said his standards and his mawazin means his like scales, the way of understanding the world is all changed. In English, you might say his world turned upside down, topsy-turvy. He met the Imam and everything changed for Hur. And he was affected deeply by Imam Hussein. And he began to compare between Imam Hussein and Banu Umayyah. And what happened? From the time that he met Imam Hussein until Yawm al-Ashir, 10th day. So we know Hur met Imam Hussein a couple of days before the Imam reached Karbala. So what the Sayyid goes on to say, the whole turning upside down or revolution of Hur. What does it mean? It means Hur was not Muwali, lam yukun Muwali li Bani Umayyah. He wasn't loyal to Bani Umayyah from the beginning. In fact, his worry and his focus was only al-aish, to survive and to protect his job. And at the end of the matter, end of the day, he made his decision on the day of Ashura, the 10th of Muharram. Wasn't before 10th of Muharram, it's on 10th of Muharram. So again, it's very important to understand what happened when. It's not like people narrate, like we've explained before, first day, second day, third day, fourth day. It's not clear like that. This is in the Maqatil. It's in the narration, but it's not accurate. So on the 10th day, he made his decision and he joined with Imam Hussein. والمسألة ليست كما يصورونها وكأن الانقلاب حصل في لحظة. It's not as people imagine that this revolution happened in an instance. It wasn't like this. And then this is the end of what the Sayyid Salamun Alayhi has said. And the reality is that many of the people of Kufa, the situation was like Hur, before he was guided. I mean, they were not sure. Ta'ihin, mutaraddidin, mudabdabin. This means they were like fluctuating, toing and froing in their position. They didn't know what they should do. And most of them were people of the dunya, and they wanted peace. They wanted like security and peace in the dunya. But the difference from Hur, between Hur and other people, was that he was brave, and he was able to make his decision in some particular moments, and it was a firm decision before he lost the opportunity. This is the difference with Hud. And other ones remained, and they regretted their portion in life after the opportunity expired. And they killed the flower of Muhammad, who was amongst them, who was wronged, transgressed, and he was thirsty. السلام على الحسين الذي ذبح عطشانا يا حسين تركتها يوم التروية ولا زالت تنزل لعنة غضبها عليهم فإليك حججت يا قبلة الله. Then the matter of guidance of Hud, it shows the mighty mercy of Allah to his servants, to people, sinners like us. So the door of guidance is never closed in the face of those who want the guidance. Even whilst they are on the way to have a battle with Ali Muhammad. So therefore, Allah subhanahu mercy is always there. And then we can see عظيم صبر الحسين وسعى رحمته المتمثلة بقبول توبة الحر في آخر ساعة ولا عجب وهو مظهر رحمة الله في هذا العالم. So Dr. Allah says, look at the mercy of Imam Hussein. You have to understand what's happening. Imam Hussein was with his family in the tent. They had been thirsty for days, the water had finished. Or it's like you see in these movies, somebody looking this way, looking that way, looking this way, looking that way. This is going on for days. And there's even narrations which explain that Hur actually, he went to argue with Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad. As in, this man has done nothing wrong, you stopped his water. So the story continued. And then there's even some narrations which say that Hur, may Allah have mercy on him, radiallahu anhu, that he went to Imam Hussein alayhi salam and said, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, or Ya Ibn Bint Rasulullah, I have a sword in my hand, I have the Quran in my hand. And if you wish, you can take revenge on me. And if you wish, you can forgive me. And Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he says, may Allah have mercy on you and may Allah accept your tawbah. This is the mercy of Allah on the earth. Only Hujjah of Allah is able to fulfill this kind of mercy. Had it been anyone else like us, For sure, some of us would have taken revenge on Hur. For sure, we would have. The mercy of Imam Hussein was such that despite all of this, the mercy of him is the mercy of Allah. So, brothers and sisters, let's think about these events which happened before us. These are not, maybe we are even sinning by even trying to imagine what happened. For sure, these are events which we're learning a lot of new things from Sayyid Ahmad Hassan Salamullah alayhi, Dr. Allah through these kind of books. They didn't happen the way people often think. And for sure, we will face the same tribulations as other people faced. And in the future episodes, you will see that Dr. Allah asked the Sayyid, what happened to, for example, Abdullah bin Umar, where was he? What happened to, for example, big names? What happened to Sulaim bin Qais? What happened to this person? What happened to that person? He asked the Sayyid, and the Sayyid says, all the names, he says, yeah, all the big names, they were not there with Imam Hussein. So only the ones who were with Imam Hussein, they achieved salvation. Everyone else was muqassir, was a shortcomer. In fact, you'll even see in the, inshallah, future short talks, Imam Hussein al-Islam, he even asks Abdullah bin Umar, son of Umar bin al-Khattab, the second ruler of Islam. He says, why don't you join me and you'll attain salvation? And he asks also Muhammad bin al-Hanafiya, Muhammad, his half brother from Imam Ali alayhi salam. And both of them said, we advise you not to do this. And Abdullah bin Abbas. And at one point, Imam Hussein says to Abdullah bin Umar, who the Sunni world holds in high regard as, mukaththib in hadith, he said, had your father been around, he would have helped me, actually helped Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So even though we know that Umar bin al-Khattab was one of those who tried to steal the Khilafah before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, even during Rasulullah's life, we know he helped Rasulullah. We know he was in Al-Badr. He was not brave. Yes, he ran away. Yes, he made mistakes. Yes, we know that he injured Sayyidah Fatima sallallahu alayha, and for that reason, probably there's only negative, bad fate for him. But to some point in his life, he actually did do nusra of Rasulullah. And Imam Hussein al-Islam used that against Abdullah bin Umar. He said, had your father been alive, he would have helped me. So Abdullah bin Umar was one of those people who they stayed back in Makkah doing the Hajj or whatever he was doing. And he did have some contribution later on with Mukhtar bin Ubayd al-Thaqafi. But Imam Hussein al-Islam, he went to everybody. He went to everyone. And in the end, he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam urging him to go to Karbala, urging him to meet the fate that Allah wants for him. Just imagine some of our teachers in Hawza would sometimes say that Imam Hussein alayhi salam wanted the al-Fath al-Mubin, which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam achieved, but it was going to come at a price. It was going to come. So Imam Hussein asked for al-Fath in Arafah, and the Fath, the open, like the skies opening to reach that high spiritual level, had to come through martyrdom. And a sign of the Fath al-Mubin was their heads were raised up on high on spears, that they reached a high status in this dunya and hereafter. But basically, that's just imagine for somebody to reach that high status, somebody has to be the one who kills him, martyrs him, the one who kills, martyrs Imam Hussein, martyrs Ali Akbar, martyrs al-Hur. They're the ones who will face eternal damnation. So this is the riddle or the ultimate payoff of this dunya. You fight the Hujjah status goes up. His martyr status goes up. His companions go up, and you end up in the hellfire. You support the Hujjah. If enough numbers of people come and support the Hujjah, then, as they say, fate will completely change. If there can be one Hur who leaves the army or leaves his job, there can be 1,000 Hur in this day and age who support Sayyid Ahmad Hassan Salamullah alayhi. If there can be one Ali Akbar who recognizes the high status of his father, there can be many other family members of, for example, Sayyid Ahmad Hassan Salamullah alayhi, inshallah, who can support him. But as we know, as is written, because of our shortcomings. There will be massacres of Ahlul Bayt. Yes, the Mahdiyin will rule as is narrated for many, many years. And starting now with Sayyidina Abdul Hassan. However, there will also be challenges and there will also be massacres. We pray, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us our humble efforts. We are truly nobody. If we were somebody, then we would be like Ahmad Hassan, or we would be one of the Mahdis, but because we're not, therefore we are shortcomers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at least help us to be somebody who supports the Sayyid, supports the progeny, not get left behind, and not fall for the trappings of this dunya. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين واستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على محمد وعلى محمد الطيبين الطاهرين الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما.
Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. From forsaken land, the sick one calls your name. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Akbar, you promised us you'd come and take me too. Without you, oh sister, there won't be wedding too. She stitches wedding clothes and cries near a burning flame. From forsaken land, the sick one calls your name. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless. Neither you rode nor came, my dear brother, why? I'm left in lonely land while you and all live high. The days have made me weep. The nights bring fear and flame from forsaken land. The sick one calls your name. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Just once let me cradle Aliyah Silver in my arms. So long it's been I saw his face so full of charm. I break down in tears each time I see him. from forsaken land. The sick one calls your name. Akbar, your sister long for you in endless pain. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless. Brother, your soul breathes in presence of your light. Tell me what tore you away, what forced you from this flight. So many days have passed that only sorrow remains from forsaken land. The sick one calls your name. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless. Last night I dreamt your chest was bruised and deeply torn. A crater burned in flames. My heart is deeply worn. That dream has shaken me. Its truth feels like a flame from forsaken land. The sick one calls your name. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless. Let the ailing one be healed if Akbar just returns without her healer near. This soul within her burns. She lives on with the hope your footstep will reclaim from forsaken land. The sick one calls your name. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Akbar, your sister longs for you in endless pain. Allahumma la al-Qadr wa la alihi wa sallam. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعلى المحدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Woe on the day. Woe on the day that you were killed while thirsty. Woe to the men who chose this world over you. Woe to the sun as it scorched the desert. Woe is your body as it lay in the sand. Woe is the infant that was killed in your arms. Woe to the horses as they trampled upon you. Woe on the night as it was filled with dread. Woe to the fire as it burned the tents. Woe on the day that you were killed while thirsty. Woe to the men who chose this world over you. Woe is your head as it was carried on a spear. Woe is your family as they walked in trains. Woe are the beloved as they were dragged across the streets. Woe to the towns as they watched them go by. Woe on the day that you were killed while thirsty. Woe to the men who chose this world over you. Woe to the treatment of your women on the journey. Woe are their deaths filled with suffering and pain. Woe to the prison as it added to the pain. Woe is the child that died while in grief. Woe on the day that you were killed while thirsty. Woe to the men who chose this world over you. Woe to the tyrant that wanted to be king. Woe to the army that followed his words. Woe on the day that you were killed while thirsty. Woe to the men who chose this world over you. Woe on the day that you were killed while thirsty. Woe to the men who chose this world over you. Woe to the men who chose this world over you. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد العامة والمحتين وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
اوكي، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. Allah, show us the truth as true and help us to follow it, and show us falsehood as falsehood and help us to avoid it. اللهم اجمعنا تحت راية الإيمان سيد أحمد حسن سلامنا عليه. Allah, elect us all, gather us all under the flag of the Imani سيد أحمد حسن سلام الله عليه. اللهم مكن لقائم آل محمد وبقية الله في الأرض. Allah, establish the riser of Ali Muhammad and the remnants of Allah in the earth. Sayyid Ahmad al-Hassan, Sahib al-Zaman, Muhammad bin al-Hassan al-Mahdi, and the companion of the matter, Muhammad bin al-Hassan al-Mahdi, وأولادهما المنتجبين المصطفين الخيار المهديين, and their progeny, the chosen ones, the purified ones, the Mahdis. اللهم قضي حوائجهم, O Allah, fulfill their needs. وقضي حوائجهم واحفظهم من كل سوء وداء مكروه. Protect them from every illness, every pain, every undesirable thing. وجعلنا معهم في الدنيا والآخرة, and put us with them in this life and hereafter. وذريتنا مع ذريتهم في الدنيا والآخرة, and our progeny with their progeny. اللهم إنا نقدمهم وسيلة لنا. اللهم شفعهم فينا. Allah, we put them in front of us like a wasila to you, a means to you. Allah, give them shifa, give them intercession for us. اللهم إنا نسألك العافية في الدنيا والآخرة. Allah, we ask you for the best, for the goodness in this life and the hereafter. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. Allah, make me one who establishes salat, and from my progeny too. And Allah, accept my dua. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. Oh Allah, forgive me and my parents and the believers on the day. And when you do the reckoning, اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك به النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Allah, we ask you of the good of that which Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم asked you. اللهم إنا نسألك في دولة كريمة. Allah, we ask you for to live in the good government of Allah, just government of the Sayyid سلام عليه. تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله. That in the government in which you will give give respect to Islam and its people, and you will disgrace nifaq and kufr and its people. اللهم أنت المستعان وعليك وإليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Allah, you are the one who we ask for help, and to you is the given the balagh, given the da'wah, and there is no power but strength. There's no power or strength but with you. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى محمد الطيبين الطاهرين الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. And may Allah send blessings and peace on Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, the Imams and the Mahdis, and peace in abundance. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. زيارة الوارث. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله. السلام عليك يا وارث نوح النبي الله. السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله. السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن الساحي والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وطاعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. ولعن الله متى قتلتك ولعن الله متى ظلمتك ولعن الله متى سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي. وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وأخواتي بعملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى جسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. زيارة علي أكبر عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله متى قتلتك ولعن الله متى ظلمتك ولعن الله متى سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. زيارة شهداء كربلاء عليهم السلام. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه. السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله ووداءه. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الولي الناصح. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما. ويا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. زيارة قاسم مسلم بن عقيل وهاني بن عروة. السلام عليكم يا قاسم بن الحسن ومسلم بن عقيل وهاني بن عروة وحبيب بن مظاهر والحر الشهيد الرياح وحر الشهد الرياحي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يا مولانا أبو الفضل العباس. السلام عليك يا من أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك أيها العبد الصالح المطيع لله ولرسوله. أشهد أنك قد جاهدت ونصحت وصبرت حتى أتاك اليقين. لعن الله الظالمين لكم من الأولين والآخرين وألحقهم بدرك الجحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. زيارة مولانا علي بن موسى رضا عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا مولاي ومن مولاي. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا سلطان يا أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا ورحمة الله وبركاته. زيارة الإمام المهدي سيد أحمد رسول سلام الله عليه. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا أحمد الحسن الإيماني الموعود. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله فرجك وسهل مخرجك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.